Can you keep a secret?
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of The Secret Meeting. You know who it is already. I'm your girl Khalida, and we're just gonna get right into this topic, and it's called I Used to Be a Hater. So I wanted to talk about this because I feel like a lot of times, like, people won't admit that they come from a place of hate, resentment, just not feeling joy within themselves. And I feel like that really stems from the fact that there's a lot of things that you are probably insecure about, and there's a lot of unfinished business that you have to do. And in my prior video, I talked about going to therapy, and these are the reasons why I feel like, self-reflection is so important. Because for me, I remember being the girl like, oh, I don't like her, and she thinks she's all of that, or, like, just wanting to see another woman fail. And I had to take the time to really like sit down and say to myself, why is that? Like, why is it that you're not genuinely happy for someone? Why is it that you're constantly comparing yourself to someone? Why is it that when someone is like receiving gifts or just becoming a better person or just achieving different accomplishments in life, that you're not really cheering them on as a woman? You know what I'm saying? Just to see another woman make it should just be so inspiring that you should just be like, I'm just happy for you, and I really genuinely want the best for you. And it took me some time because I realized that I wasn't happy with myself and who I was. And in the time of me trying to figure out what were the things that made me unhappy with myself, I had to do a lot of quiet time. And quiet time to me is just you being alone and really just like having moments of understanding what are the specific things that make you feel like who you are, make you feel happy, make you feel loved, and what are you lacking in? Why is it that you don't feel these things? And a lot of the times I feel like it's because as women, we rely on sources that are not consistent. And the sources that we may rely on are like clothes, men, friends, and just things that in everyday life changes on a different level. Style of clothes is changing. You cannot rely on a person or friends because of the simple fact that everyone has emotions, everyone has their day-to-day feelings, everyone has their just moments of needing themselves. So for you to be looking for validation in people will leave you in a spot where it's like things are missing for you. And so I realized that I had to do the work, and I had to understand that there were times where I felt unpretty. There were times where I felt like I was out of shape and I just wasn't happy with how I looked. And for me, I had to make the decision of, are you gonna do something to change it? Or are you gonna just sit here and hate on the next girl who, even if she paid for it, she still looks better than you? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like we have the conflict of what's real, what's fake, what's this, what's that. And it's like, it doesn't matter how the solution comes about. It's about you actually finding the solution. And for me, I really had to take the time out and say, stop being lazy. It's your fault that you're eating like crap. It's your fault that you're not taking the time out your day to work out and be better. It's your fault that you don't have the love that you want in your life because you choose the people that you bring into your life. You choose what to accept. You choose what to deal with. And you have to know your worth and understand what you want for yourself. Takes time, takes growth, and takes the acknowledgement that you even need it. And so I really wanted to talk about that because we spend a lot of time as women like gossiping and who's doing this and what part of this person's life they're in and they don't deserve it. And what I truly understand is that when you are truly secure in yourself, you understand that you have flaws. I have flaws that I cannot fix. All the flaws that I can fix, I'm going to do my best to fix it. And even in me trying to fix it, there are times where I might fail myself and say, today's just not the day. Like, I'm just not gonna do the work today. And it's okay to get exhausted. It's okay to get tired. It's okay to feel like you need a break. But love yourself enough to know what the problem is and know that even in the things that you cannot fix, you're still being able to live. You're still being able to have a roof over your shoulder or something to be appreciative of, to replace that feeling of the lack that you are missing. And that is something that I truly feel like is a good thing to do, because there's things about me, like, honestly, a flaw for me is like my boobs. I'm a mom, you know, they're not the way that they're supposed to be right now. And I had to come to the decision of, is this going to be something that like holds you back from being sexy, from being the beautiful person that you are? Or are you going to say to yourself, this is what I've been dealt with, and whoever loves me enough will just accept that? And there might be a time where if I choose to get plastic surgery or whatever the case might be, that is my solution for something that I physically cannot fix at this point in time, because it's just impossible. So those are things that, you know, that you have to say to yourself, I cannot fix this, but what do I have? I still have a nice face. I still have a nice curvaceous body. I still have beautiful skin. I still am able to walk, talk, and breathe, and be able to use my words and articulate myself and have a conversation that might lure somebody into wanting to be in the presence of me. So you have to replace the things that you cannot change with the things that you have. And I feel like that takes time, and it takes you wanting the responsibility of knowing what is wrong with you. What is the reason why I accept mediocre love? What is the reason why this person gets this job and I don't? Is it because they're more outgoing? Is it because they put themselves out there? And if they are doing that, you cannot be upset because you hold that insecurity inside you. That is something that you need to rectify within yourself and say to yourself, you know, it's not going to come right away. Like, talking to people is not something that I naturally do. Like, people are drawn to me, yes, but I don't just go out and just like socialize with people and, hey, you know, it's just not my thing. I'm very standoffish. But at this point, if I'm trying to build this platform for women, I know that I'm gonna have to do the work and step outside my comfort zone. And I feel like that's the first step of truly being secure with yourself, is just getting over the fear of stepping outside of something and owning up to it being uncomfortable, but wanting to do the work because you know that there's something better on the other end. And I'm not saying this because I know it all, or because I'm just like this spectacular person who has it all together. That is definitely not true. It takes one day at a time. And there are times where I just say to myself, like, today is just not my day. But even when it's not my day, my mindset is, it's not my day. And if I'm blessed to have another day, then that day will be my day. I'm going to make sure I do better. I'm going to make sure that I take the steps and I take the time to find the knowledge, to take the time to listen to other people talk who may be going through what I'm going through, or just even have some form of insight on something that could possibly heal me as a person. We spend so much time like looking at people on the outside that we never really think about what's going on the inside. And I feel like if we took time to see people and say to ourselves, like, I really wonder what this woman is going through. I really wonder what this person is going through. A lot of times our reactions to the things that they do or the things that they say would be different. And even in that, like, a person might inflict their insecurities on you as well. But when you are truly like in a space of learning yourself and becoming more secure with yourself, then you will look at that and even notice that, and it will be no reason for you to want to, I guess, navigate in the manner that they are going in. If there's no room for you to say, well, you know, I'm going to seize this opportunity to make you feel low because when you are at that point, for me at least, I know that I want to feel true, like genuine joy and happiness and love and light, and just feel light as a person, and just not have a heavy feeling or spirit or energy to give off. And when you are in that space of becoming this person, you naturally do not want to inflict that on other people. Even if you're trying to give them a critique on something that they have done, your deliverance of how you would do it is just completely different. And I want people to know, like, it's okay to be a hater, not in the sense of like it's okay to go out there and actually like hate people, because naturally as women, we're not gonna come across as a hater. We're gonna come across as the girl who has it all together. Oh, you don't bother me. I don't have time for you. But deep down inside, we know. And when we're at home and when we're behind closed doors and we got that one friend that we could just call and be like, yeah, she thought she was this and blah, 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 whatever the case might be, that's you being a hater. And that's you knowing it to yourself that there's something that this person has that makes you feel like you're missing something, or you're even jealous of that person. And me coming into myself also allows me to not be jealous of people, because of the simple fact that I don't really know what that person is going through. A lot of people wear disguise. A lot of people do things where they are just pretending to seem like they are okay, because we have to face the world, we have to keep on going, we have to, just supersede what we feel on the inside a lot of the times. And for me, I understand this because I have done it. Like, I'm not gonna go to work and tell people I'm lonely and it's just me at home, and even if that's what I felt, because you just don't want to seem vulnerable. You want to feel like you fit in. You want to feel like you belong. But the thing for me is, instead of pretending to actually feel that way, I can say that this process of me learning myself has allowed me to walk into spaces of myself and say to myself, well, this is the reason why you feel like you need to say what you need to say all of the time. And for me, as I spoke about in my last video, because of the things that I've been through, I understand that I have created these defense mechanisms to make sure that I am heard, to make sure that I am understood by people, because of the fact that I did not speak up before. So you have to take time to literally hone into yourself and say to yourself, I don't need the TV, I don't need the Instagram, I don't need the friends on the phone, I don't need whatever it is that distracts me. I just need time to sit down and to just revise myself, and to just just have a truthful moment with myself, because at the end of the day, it's just you and yourself. Even though we have family, even though we have friends, when you're alone, or even when you're walking down the street, and even in your dying days, or when you leave this earth, you are by yourself. I mean, yes, you can die with a person, but at the end of the day, it's you by yourself. And I keep saying that because it's no better feeling to be truthful to yourself and understand that I need work. I need to be better. And it's not for the purpose of people. It's not for the purpose of things. It's for the purpose of just for me to be able to walk around and to acknowledge that when I'm using my ego, I know that I'm using my ego. When I'm using my spiritual self, I know that I'm using my spiritual self. When I am speaking in my flesh, I know that I'm speaking in my flesh. And there are times where, because I'm on this journey, I can say to myself, okay, you had enough. You had enough of responding to people in the form of your ego. You've had enough of responding to people in the form of your flesh. It's time for you to look at your spiritual self and say to yourself, why is it that you need to express yourself this way? Why is it that you need to, bring yourself to this space of aggression or space of telling someone off in this way where you're making them understand how hard you are, because sometimes that's the response that people need to understand where you're coming from, because that may be the only language that they can speak is from the ego. But just because you know what space you're in, what time you're in, what you are feeling, you are able to step outside of yourself and understand that when you are experiencing anything, you know when it's personal, and you know when it's just from a standpoint of this is what makes logical sense. And I feel like being secure allows you to know when you are seeing something and you're taking it in a personal sense. Like, if I could give you an example, say someone is just like, oh, people are just being this way because this person is obese. If it's coming from me and I'm obese, am I saying this because it's really true, or am I saying this because as an obese person, I feel some type of way because I feel like I'm not accepted, or I feel like I'm not, a favorable thing in society's eyes. And I feel like we do a lot of that because of the fact that we ourselves are like hurting, you know what I'm saying? And it's okay to hurt, and it's okay to be in a space of vulnerability, and it's okay to be insecure. But what are you gonna do about it? Are you just gonna be the person that continuously picks on a person or picks on something or is downplaying something, and then you still want success yourself, and you still want love yourself, and you still want to be accepted yourself? It just doesn't work like that. And it's a contradiction, especially when you're trying to manifest the love that you want, the happiness that you want, the whatever it is that you want, the job, the family, whatever it is. And for me, I think that was like the thing that went off in my head for me to say, like, you really need to spend time with yourself, because there's no way that you want to be successful but you're hating on some random ass person that you don't even know their life problems, you don't know what they're going through, you don't know what they feel, and you're just continuously adding on to their stress, not even knowing that that's a thing. I mean, it is a thing. When you spend time talking about a person in a negative way, even if a person doesn't hear it, it's still an energy and or a vibration that you are giving off towards that person's life. And when I speak about people, I speak about them in a vibration that I would like to be spoken about. Yes, there are times where I will go off and I will say something because of the fact that it is logical. I'm not saying it in a sense of, oh, this is my personal feelings, or this is just what I feel. No, most of the times when I'm speaking on something, I'm speaking on it in the terms of like, I'm saying this because these are the facts. This is exactly what happened. This is what I know to have happened. And it's messed up, and it can come across as if I'm being judgmental, but these are the facts. So if it's the facts, then there's nothing left for me to speak outside of. And being in that space takes time, because when you deal with facts, when you deal with what the reality is, now you then have to face the sadness. You have to face the incompletion of something that seems to be complete. You know what I'm saying? And I just really wanted to talk about that because I have been through that, and I have been one of the biggest haters myself. And that's also because I have experienced hate myself, not knowing at the time that it's coming from a person or a place that is not acknowledging their own insecurities. And that's why I'm able to just move past certain things, because everyone is allowed to hurt. Everyone is allowed to feel sad. Everyone is allowed to be depressed or have something that hurts them so much that they don't know how to cope with it. But it's not an excuse to continuously live your life that way. And you may not get it at a young age. You may not get it at 50, or, it may take you all your life. And the point is that even if you try to get it, that's all that matters. And just a simple notion of acknowledging the things that make you want to give off or trigger you to give off something that's unpleasant are the things that, you know what I'm saying, really take time and really are going to make you understand how strong you are as a person, because it takes true strength to face yourself and your problems and your real feelings, because no matter how long you spent time with your parents, with your kids, with your friends, no one will ever know you the way that you know yourself. So with that being said, I hope that you really enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I will definitely get back to you on the things that I use and the practices that I came across that helped me to build my insecurities in another video. Bye.